Long Island. She holds a degree in illustration and design from the Fashion Institute of Technology and a master's degree in art education. She's worked in the fashion industry, music industry, and taught art for over 20 years. Nicole's art is created using mostly recycled and upcycled materials. And additional information can be found at her website, which is NicoleFranz.com, and on Instagram at NicoleFranzArt. So Nicole, I'm going to turn it over to you. We're so excited to have you here. Thank you very much. Hopefully you all got the supply list and have some supplies, but I'm going to turn it over to Nicole to kind of chat a little bit more about her process. And please feel free to chime in with questions or comments along the way.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to share my process with all of you. I love my introduction. So I do this form of collage that is, it's not, you know, it's not what everyone does, but it's my process. It's something that I've developed, and I've noticed over time that people ask me a lot, you know, how do you do that? Where do you get the idea? Like, what's your process? And I started to do workshops and share my process, and people really, really enjoy it. For me, this is being in my studio and doing one of these pieces is definitely my therapy. This is when I'm in the creative zone and I tune everything and everyone out. And it's like, it kind of just opens up a certain part of my brain to work. And it's really important and really special to me. I mostly do portraiture, and I don't know why. I just really like the emotions in people's faces. I don't really do that much self-portraiture. A lot of the time, I don't even really know who the people are that I'm doing. But there's something about it that's like putting together a puzzle, and I really enjoy it. It speaks to me, and it's very special. The other part of my work that is really important to me, that I love, is that I don't buy anything to make these collages. Only the glue that holds it together. But it's very important to me to just use things that I can find around the house. And of course, you know, I'm an art teacher and a professional artist, and I'm at the point where in my studio, I've collected many things for many years, but I really enjoy doing workshops, even with the children, to show them that you don't have to go to, you know, a fancy art store and buy these amazing supplies. You don't have to. You can create something beautiful and meaningful with things that you have around the house. So I know that you all got my supply list, and sometimes people like to just watch the presentation or the workshop. Sometimes people like to work along. I'm very laid back about everything because I kind of have a tendency to go off on little tangents and talk about a lot of different things. But I will say the first thing that I do when I'm doing a collage is that I look for a background. And I thought that I went through my studio and I found this canvas that I actually found on the side of the road. And I'm sure because it has a hole in it right here, but that doesn't bother me at all. I will just cover it up. I will be part of my collage. You know, I see in Michael's a lot that they have in the clearance bins, they sell their canvases for like 50 cents when they have a mark on them, a dent on them, they're broken. So I like to believe that I rescue a lot of these canvases and backgrounds because, you know, that's what it is, a rescued material. Because they would go in the garbage and they really don't need to. I work a lot on cardboard. I love cardboard. I love the texture of cardboard. When I get a delivery, some of the time I'm not even excited about what's in the box of what I ordered, but I'm more excited about the actual box. So I just have some cardboard. I don't know if you're as excited about cardboard as I am, but this is just an old collage that I did in a workshop, but it was for Valentine's Day with some children. But it's that corrugated cardboard, and it's so strong, and it has all the texture and layers. And this is just like, when I get this cardboard in a delivery, I'm super excited. And it has texture, so you can actually do like rubbings and stuff on it where you can see the texture of the cardboard. I love when things are not perfect. I love when things are a little messy and show the texture and stuff like that. So that's why I love working on cardboard. So I also work a lot on wood scraps. So you really don't have to buy anything. You could, you can find things on the side of the road, or you can use cardboard or wood and scraps and stuff like that, old mirrors, anything. So I really love that about my work, and that's very special to me. The next thing that I do after I find what I'm going to be working on, I start to go through my materials, and I start looking for what I want to use. I usually make a few different piles. So I'll have a few piles of faces that I want to use if I'm not painting or drawing it. When I do a lot of the workshops, like this workshop for you, and I know we say no artistic ability, and you definitely don't have to have any. So I usually use images already that I found. I usually don't paint or draw the face for this workshop. It's something that you could like work up to, or if you do, to have artistic abilities or want to work on a face, but I don't like to intimidate people with painting or drawing a face for this workshop. So we keep it more like collage. But what I do, when I find a couple of faces, images that I like, sometimes I use my own photographs. Sometimes I find them in a magazine that speak to me. And I often make photocopies of the images because I love that kind of look, like a little bit blurry, a little bit fuzzy. So for this, I had found a few. I don't like to plan. I don't like to plan my workshop because I like to show you how it just naturally happens. So I found a few images, and I found this one image, and I really liked it because it was like very faded and very bright on one side. I just really liked how she looked, and I liked her expression. Kind of just spoke to me. So that's what I do when I go through all the magazines and my papers and my scraps. I just pull out what speaks to me. There doesn't have to be any reason. I might not even use it. It's just like you're sitting there and you're going through all these papers and you're looking through all this stuff, and you just, whatever speaks to you, you just kind of grab it and put it in a pile. And you might not use it, you might use it, you might put it back in the pile later. But when you're working on something, I start making these little piles. But I like this, but the canvas that I found seemed a little bit large for this image. So I photocopied it, and I love what happens sometimes when you photocopy things, because it got a little fuzzy, more fuzzy. And if you can see, like, the image from the back of the magazine paper came through. And that's interesting to me too. But that's just, that's how I feel about it. Like, I find it very interesting. So now I really like this image. It has, you can see through the image on the other side, and it's black and white, and it's grainy, and it has texture, and I could do a lot with this. So I'm very excited about this one. So I decided right away that that will be the image that I'm using for the portrait. And then, like I said, I go through all my papers and my old magazines, and I just pull out things that I like. It doesn't necessarily have to be things like I like these shoes and I pull them out. It's more like, I like this color, and I like the way this looks sparkly or shiny, or I like this faded out. I just keep pulling things out, and I make my little piles. And I also always make a pile of words that I really like. I love finding little quotes and little meaningful words. I always put them in my work, whether they're very visible or I hide them somewhere in there. I really like to have words in my work a lot. And speaking of words, so the first thing that I do this is, I like this. This is kind of interesting. I went to an art show once where the artist was speaking, and he said, he was speaking about, I don't even remember who the artist was or the artwork, but I specifically remember this. So he was showing us his painting, and he said, you know, there's a whole nother painting underneath that. And I was like, what? Like, what? And then he started to say that he did this painting and he just wasn't happy with it. And he kept working on it and he kept working on it, but he loved the process of creating the painting. So he didn't want to stop, and he kept trying and trying. And then he decided, you know, he's going to move on. It's going to be a different painting completely. And he painted over it. And so it just got me thinking, like, you know, there can be so many hidden things in there. So what I started to do, because I keep a journal, I love journaling. So what I started to do in these workshops, I would, and not just the workshop, when I'm working also, I write all over my background first. And it doesn't, whatever I want to write, because no one's going to see it. It's going to be completely hidden. It's kind of just like, that's part of my therapy process in this particular type of artwork for me. So I tell, when I do the workshop, sometimes like everyone's looking around like, well, what am I supposed to write? You know? And you know, there's no right or wrong. I mean, you don't even have to, you can write your shopping list on there, you know, it could be anything. I've written song lyrics that are, if I have a song stuck in my head, or if I usually have music on when I'm working. I would write the song lyrics down. I could write, you know, things that I'm feeling right now. I could write my Christmas list. I mean, there's so many things, you know, it's whatever it is to you. Maybe you do keep a journal. What I write in my journal sometimes, I write all over my background. I always, and if I'm teaching, especially to kids, I always have them write, because I think it's so important to incorporate that. Or maybe your intentions, like what is your intention from doing this project? Like, what do you want to get out of it? What do you, you know, how do you feel about it? You know, and I always tell the kids, like, I'm not going to come look, because, you know, they might be writing like, I don't want to do this. I don't know. You all want to, because you registered. But so I really, like, I always would, and, you know, sometimes people get really nervous about it and they just think they're going to do it wrong. But even if I tell my students, like, even if you're just like doodling on there and you're just drawing and doing something, we're going to cover it up. And especially here virtually, I don't even have to see it. But I think it's a very special process to write all over your background and then cover it up. And then a piece of you is like in there. So for me, you know, I sell my work, and then like I have like these, like this very special place in my heart, and I wrote something down, and it's in there. It's in the background of that piece. Now, sometimes when I write, so I won't write because I can't concentrate on talking and writing at the same time, but I will, you know, make some line work. I'll do some doodles around. And very often I like when the words are, you know, some words are visible. That's very interesting. I like texts and words in work, in artwork. So once I have my background, and, you know, I don't even know if I said this because I know I mentioned it earlier, but if you want to watch me work and then possibly be inspired and do your work, or if you want to work along with me, like whatever you feel like doing, whatever you want to do works, because there's really no right or wrong way. And this is just my process that I'm sharing with you that I really enjoy. So once I find my background, I write on it. I write whatever I want on it, and set my intentions for the project. And then I go to my pile of colors and papers and things that I've picked out that have spoken to me. And that's when I start gluing them down for my background. So I make a background first before I put my image of my face on there. So I have my pile here. I found this one, this was the back of a magazine, but I really like the green. I'm really liking green right now. And then and another fun fact, I don't use a scissor for anything. You could definitely use a scissor. I just really like ripping everything. I don't know, there's something very, very fun about ripping it. And something very like, you know, with the scissor, I feel like you try to be so perfect with a scissor. When you're ripping something, you really can't be perfect. So it doesn't have to be perfect. And I like when you rip it and it kind of does its own thing and there's your answer. It doesn't have to be perfect. You don't have to get frustrated, and I don't know, I like that. So maybe that's just me, but you know, that's my process. So I'm telling you about it. So I normally use like a Liquitex. It's a matte medium for gluing my papers and my materials down. But you can definitely use like Elmer's glue. You can use like a Mod Podge. I'm going to use Mod Podge tonight because it's a little quicker, and a glue stick. I could use a glue stick too. So sometimes I like to use the glue sticks because in the beginning, because like you can move stuff around. And that's the beauty of collage is that it's so forgiving, right? I mean, sometimes when you're doing a painting, I notice that students can get very frustrated, and I love collage because if you're not happy with how it's looking, even though it's really the process, but if you're not happy, you could just keep going and keep layering. And sometimes when you're working in other mediums, some more glue on here, that's not always the case. And especially like something like watercolor, and it can be very frustrating. Collage to me is so not frustrating. So I hope you feel the same way, because it really is not. I was going to cover the whole, but I'm not quite sure I'm going to cover it yet. So normally I don't work, well, that glue might not have held this as good as I thought. I don't work at an angle because of this. I like to press things down. So maybe I'm going to have to use a little stronger of a glue for this. I work straight on a flat surface so that I can kind of move things around more like a puzzle. But let me move this for 1 minute so I could try to stick this down as best I can. I don't know if that's going to stick. Do the best I can there. It's not so bad. So another thing is I like to glue everything down with, I use my hands. I don't use a brush. So it gets a little messy, but like, I don't know, I like that messiness. But this is definitely this, maybe it's this paper. Having a little rough time staying there. We'll see if it stays. Okay. Maybe you have to put something over it. So then I take my other background pieces, and I like to see where I just move them around. So that's what I do as the puzzle piece. So this poor piece does not look like it's staying. So I'm going to have to grab a different background. Let's see. That's okay. Maybe this will stay better. We'll glue this one down. Let's see. Kind of like that there. So I just arrange my pieces, and if you have it flat in front of you, you can just decide where you want everything and move things around. It's a little more difficult when you're working at an angle, but you'll see what I'm saying as I start gluing stuff down. If you have Elmer's glue, you can put a little bit of water in it. If you have Mod Podge, sometimes people put a little water in it, but I like it the way it is. So like I use my fingers, I cover the whole thing. It's like messy, but it's, you know, it's like an organized mess. It's like a fun mess.
What does the
So
water do, Nicole, just to like make it stretch a little further?
it makes it not as thick. So it's more, you know, sometimes if you use Elmer's glue and you're covering like a whole, like, see, I kind of take the Mod Podge and I put like I cover the whole piece. With Elmer's glue, sometimes it's like a little tacky, a little too much. So people like to dilute it a little, just with a little bit of water. But yeah, it also definitely also stretches it out. That's for sure. So I lost my green that I really liked, but that's I could get it to stick, but you know, we'll move on from that. I'll get over the green. So I found some of these blues that I really like. So I'm just going to put them wherever I'm feeling like I want them. And like I said, you know, it doesn't matter because you can move things, especially when it's wet. You can move the images. You can put layers over them. So I like to just kind of, I almost make like a frame. That's what I'm kind of doing with, but I like it to be so not perfect. So let's see, maybe I'll move a smidge closer. Okay, that's good. So I like a lot of the Mod Podge because then you could just move things around. See, I have this nice strip of, this was like newspaper and then I painted over it and it got cut off of another painting. So I like that. I'm gonna use that. Okay, let's see. So here's my face that I have. So I'm gonna put it somewhere in there, but I don't want it to be perfect. And I know it looks like the lighting's off, but this is all blown out here. It's all white. So it's like that. It's not the lighting. And I had another face that I really liked as well. This image, I think this was Gwyneth Paltrow. I'm not sure, but I kind of liked the way the hair looked. So I often do stuff like this. Like I often like try to make my own face. Like there's the image that I made the photocopy of. And I kind of like that. Yeah, I really like that. So I think I'm going to do something like that. So I'm going to tear this a little because I don't like anything to look perfect. So I'm going to tear so it doesn't look printed and perfect. So now I have like my image and I'm going to, I think I'm going to off center it a little. So is my camera close enough that you can see what I'm doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. All right. So I'm going to get that image on, get some glue on there. So, and when the glue's wet, you know, you can still move everything around and, okay. I think I kind of like it like in there, like that. Okay. And, you know, I don't care about like the bumps and the air bubbles and like the wrinkles, like a lot of the paper, you know, wrinkles and kind of like sometimes breaks apart, depending on what magazine, what newspaper. And I think that that's all interesting to me. So that doesn't bother me. So I don't care when it like, here, this is getting wrinkled. I kind of like it actually. I do, I like it. Okay.
Is the glue making it wrinkle a little bit?
Well, you know what? It's probably combination of the glue, but I find that it's often the paper. But because we're using, you know, recycled papers and stuff, you really don't have control over the ink, over the thickness of the paper, the, you know, the stock or anything like that. So it's just, that's okay. And I really like, I'm going to put these two faces together because I really kind of like the way that's looking. So, you know, things like that happen. Like, that's why I kind of like to do the workshop not planned, because, you know, the green paper that was the back of a magazine is very, very shiny. So there must be some kind of coating on it and it just won't stick to the canvas. You know, if I really had my heart set on using it, I could probably, you know, like, I'm sure you all remember from, you know, when you were younger in art class, you glue one side, then you glue the other and you let them dry a little and then you could, you know, mate them together and they stick together. But, you know, that's what's kind of nice about this process, is because things get ruined and things don't happen. And it didn't, I thought my background was going to have that green and it's not. So you kind of have to use your, you know, use your creative juices and kind of, it's like a design challenge. And I don't know, I always love a design challenge. And see, now I'm talking and now my glue's drying on here, but that's okay. We'll make it work. So like, I just combine these two faces together and I just really like it a lot. So I don't know if you can all see, but
yeah, that's,
we have like, it kind of really lined up pretty well.
Yeah, it does line up.
Amazing. So I really like that. And it's just interesting to me. It gives it dimension. And that's when I start getting all excited about my collage. So I really like that. So I'm definitely leaving that piece there. I'm not going to pull that up. There was another piece to that. Oh, okay, let's see. So this is what I do. So now I'm like deep into the collage and I'm using all my pieces and I'm seeing if things, to me, if they speak to me, if they work for me or not. So, you know, I might hold something up or I might glue something down and someone might be like, why'd you do that? But it doesn't matter. It meant something to me and it works for me. And that's where my whole brain is going now. And like, it's just the puzzle piece. There's something very therapeutic for me to sit here and put these pieces together and create a new face and add dimension and texture and decorate it and add color. And it's just, this is what I do. And it is very important to me and it makes me feel good. So this is the other side of the face. I can't decide I don't think I'm going to use it. I think just one piece. But so this is what I do. And then I sit here and I go, should I use it? Should I not? Then sometimes I glue it down. I'm like, no, I shouldn't have done that. And then, but I'm not going to use this piece. Not this time. I did have another photocopy here that I really liked that was very grainy. And I really liked her hair here, the white that went into the background being dark, the contrast I like. So maybe I'll use part of that. I'm not sure. But yeah, I like that. So I'm going to keep going, like adding another piece there. But I don't think I'm going to add this bottom part. I think I'm just going to do this. I think I'm going to do that. I like that. So, and there's like all sorts of text here. I think it's the prices of something, but I'm going to leave that there because I kind of like that too. So I'm going to glue that down. So usually when I'm working, I have like one of those salt lamps I use. I don't know if anyone's used those. They're so pretty and they're so cool. And sometimes when it's dark in here and just the salt lamps on, everything looks amazing. So everything you're working on looks amazing when you're working under a salt lamp. I really like that. So that's just a little tip if you ever want to get a salt lamp, because it's really cool. And
that is cool.
Do you have one? They're awesome. And then I also like to play music that I usually have going on in the studio. Okay. So I'm not necessarily making like her head, but I just kind of, there's something about this that I really liked. So I thought that, I don't know, I just like it. And I like how, you know, the sort of frame I made for the face is like, this is kind of going off and off centering it too. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. And then sometimes like the pieces that I rip up here, I use those too, because you never know what you're starting to create when you're doing that. Like I could use, there's a lot of interesting texture in that, but I don't know where I want to use it. So maybe I won't use that. Oh, and you know what happens a lot too? Sometimes you're ripping things and putting things down, and then you realize that you're like, wow, what is this? This was on the back. But I kind of like this because it's like, there's some water in this one. And I love water. I love like putting like the ocean and things like that in my work. Maybe I'll use a small piece of this. And you know what's nice too? Sometimes like you use something, a piece of something, and you ripped it so small, or you've ripped out where it's not recognizable anymore. And then only you kind of know what it is in there. So it kind of makes it special. Let me put that right there. I kind of like that. Okay. So I need something up here, I think, to fit. That's like unfinished to me. So I have to find something. I cut this out. Oh, maybe this might work. No, but I really like this. So I think I'm going to use it over here. This is, I don't know what it is, but it's kind of like all lines. I didn't like it over there, but I'm going to use it over here. Another thing I do a lot, and I don't know why, but I put glasses on a lot of my portraits. So I think I cut out some glasses. Let me see. Yes, here. This I did with a scissor. So I will confess, because it was too hard to cut these out. I saw these glasses and I did it with the scissor. And then after I did it, I accidentally ripped it. So now I have these cool glasses, but there's like a hole in both sides. But then, you know, continuing with my true, that's okay. That's okay that it's ruined. So I don't know if I want to put the glasses on or not. I can't decide. And I feel like every time I lean to look, you're getting like a super close up of my face. So of my actual face. Let me see. So, you know, like I said, like the puzzle, like I play around. That is kind of cute. I'm not sure. So another thing that I do, I like to put something circular around. If it's not the glasses, I like to put like a circle around the eye. It's not my signature thing, but I really enjoy doing it. I'm looking for if I have a piece around somewhere that I have that. No, but I have some small pieces here that I can show you. Like these have the glasses on, and I do like putting something circular on the eye. This is a little bit smaller than the one that we're working on. So I do like stuff like that. This one I drew around the eye. So I like having like a circle. So you're kind of just like making the portrait your own, not just like taking an image from the magazine and just leaving it like that. Like you're kind of just like making it your own. Sometimes what do I have here? I have like some broken jewelry. So sometimes I will like, see, I think I want to do that now that I'm holding this up. Sometimes I will glue a piece of something on there, and I kind of like that. I like that too. So I really want to do that. So maybe I'll do that. Now I'll make things really difficult for myself because I like that better than the color. So I'm going to plug in my hot glue gun, even though I didn't plan on it, but now I want to do that. See, so I don't know. That's what it's like really special to me about the work, because it's just, you're like this is how would I have ever imagined that this was be the direction of how it would go? You know, I wouldn't. And that's what's very, very special about the process to me. I love how I don't know what they're going to look like. All right, so my glue gun is plugged in. Okay, because I think I'm going to glue this nice piece of broken jewelry to one of the eyes, just one. It's kind of interesting to me. So then I have a pile of just like decorative pieces of paper and stuff like that that I like. So this is bothering me up here because I feel like it needs to be a little finished. And I might put stuff in the corners. I'm not sure yet. I also really like to enhance the eyelashes a lot. I think it's kind of cool to put something on the eyelashes that aren't really eyelashes. So I'm going to look and see what I have, what I ripped out that spoke to me. I have a lot of butterflies, so I think I'm going to, I really like butterflies. I'm going to add some of them around. Sometimes I like to cover the mouth, even. I don't know. Let's see. So this is this part I love because I really already have the whole basis down, and now I get to just like play around and move things around, and just going to play around a little bit. And oh, I like that. This might work up here. No, I don't know. And I have no reason for saying no or yes. It's just, if it feels right, I put it there. And if it doesn't, so that didn't feel right. Maybe this, let's see. Or maybe words could go there. No, I don't like that either. Oh, I like this. Aha, yes. I think I wanted something a little darker up there. I'm gonna put that there. I don't even know what this was, where this came from. There. See? Okay. All right. So I like this a lot. I like where it's going. We'll see if my hot glue gun is ready yet. Okay. Now I just have to decide if I want to put this on this side or this side. Let's see. I don't know if I need to move it closer for everyone to see. Can you can see it from the easel, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great. Just making sure. So let's see. I think I'm going to put it on that eye. So again, like the paper, we hope that this sticks, and we hope that this metal will, you never know. Oh, I love it. Yay.
Oh, that's really cool.
I love putting, I have no reason, but I love putting something circular around the eye. I do it in so much of my work. If you get a chance to go on my website or my Instagram, you'll see. I really love doing this, and then I like, and I'll show you because it's part of my process too. I like adding illustration around, almost like, like a mandala or a sun or just Zentangle or doodling. I like adding that around. Not always, but I often make my lips red because I just like the contrast, especially this is a black and white. So normally I would use like watercolor paint or a stamp. Okay. I'm going to use I have red ink. I think this is still wet. Let's see. I'm going to do it with my finger. There's an artist on Instagram, I forget his name right now, but he like paints on his portraits with actual makeup. It's like amazing. That's so cool. So like sometimes people are like, oh, I don't have paint, I can't do the lips. I'm like, just go get some lipstick and put it right on the paper. Again, like I said, I don't like it to look perfect. I kind of want it to just be like the pout. I'm not even going to make like I like it to be like a little messy, and yay, I love that. Okay, that's my ink. Let's see. Okay. I'm gonna see what other things. Oh, I took these, I ripped out these candles. I'm going to use them because I like them a lot. I don't know, maybe down here, each side. Okay. I just like that they were like dark and a little flicker of light. I thought that was kind of cool. So I'm going to use both of them, I think, because I really like them. All this glue, all the glues that I mentioned, everything dries clear, so we're good. Don't have to worry about that. Okay. So I don't know what, I think this was a plate with a spoon, but and I know some of you are working, so you don't have to look at me. You can just listen because I talk through so much. But I don't know, I kind of liked it, but I don't know what I would do with it. So thinking I might have to save it for something else. I don't know. I found a page of butterflies and I love them. So I'm gonna see if I can use the butterfly a little. Also, after the workshop, I will finish this up and I'll add the final details and I will post it on my Instagram so you can see the finished piece, like a nice shot. I don't know, sometimes with the lighting and the camera, there's a glare. I'm not, it looks okay to me from what I can see, but I would love you to see the final piece when it's done.
That'd be great.
So also, I would still take a long time, not a long time. I mean, another thing that I love about collage is like instant gratification. Like if we've only been working for a half hour, 45 minutes. I finish one. I never go into the next day because I want to see it. I want it to be done. Sometimes I'll decorate it the next day or I'll add like my jewelry or glitter glue. I love glitter glue. And then I'll seal it with whatever, like you could seal it with the Mod Podge or watered down Elmer's, just to make a nice coating. Then it will be finished. But I also, so like I said, I'm not going to do too much here, but you'll see it on the finished piece because it's too hard for me to draw at this angle. But I use any kind of pens that I have laying around. And I very often put, you know, like mark making or design work. This pen is gold, so it might not be, I can't do it from this angle, but I will decorate around the piece of jewelry. And I do have, and of course I buy these, this is not my recycled stuff, but I love all these little glitter glues and glitter paints with the fine tips, because you can kind of like draw with them. Like if you want to, like I like to put like eyelashes in glitter, lots of little details. And you can, like if I put an earring on her, if I wanted to, like you can kind of draw with this. And I like doing that. And this might be, this is glue. So then I could also glue stuff on there if I want to add more to it. Let's see. I did find this green piece that I really liked, so maybe I'll use that. I forgot about this. Or that could be a necklace. Let's do that. That's actually like a green champagne glass upside down. But that's what I mean. Like only you know that when you're working on a piece like this, and it's like, it's so cool. So that I would make into a necklace. I like that. Okay. And I didn't add any of my words yet. So am I running out of time? Am I good?
We've got about 10 minutes.
So I usually add words. I try to add like inspirational words or words of encouragement or words that mean something to me. So I have my stack of words here, but at the same time, I'm also looking to see what I think looks right and how. I actually don't like all this glitter here. I'm gonna move it around. Okay. I had a few things. I ripped this out, said, oh, now it's full of glitter. That's okay, because we like glitter. Once upon a time, this says. I kind of like that. That was, I had that one, and let's see. Beautiful your way and lead with love. I mean, I guess I could use all of them. I'm going to use once upon a time because I think that's kind of cool. Because this is my story in this piece. So let's see. Use once upon a time. See, it got wrinkled. Still beautiful. Okay. And I think I'm going to use another butterfly right there because I wanted to cover up that piece that was sticking out. Okay, that's what's so nice about collage. So forgiving. Okay. I really like this moon too, so I feel like I need to use this somewhere. Maybe I'll use this at once upon a time. Okay. And let's see, beautiful your way, I kind of like. Did that go with once upon a time? I don't know. Lead with love. I think I'll do lead with love. See, so you're so like, when I'm doing this, I'm just immersed in, should this go here? What should the word be? Does that color look right? And in a positive way, like I'm loving putting it together. I'm loving the challenge, the process, and it's, you know, the time's just ticking, and it's, you know, it's different when you're not doing a workshop. It's like, I could spend all night in here.
I know, the time has gone so fast.
I actually do spend all night in here. It's and it's like there's so much I want to say and tell everyone, but it, you know, hopefully, kind of get the idea of what I do. And and it's really nice to do these, you know, if you're using an image of someone you know, and I go into the high schools a lot, and we do empowerment portraits. So the students use their own portrait. And, you know, that's kind of like the age that, you know, they don't want to use sometimes they don't. Some of them, well, the selfies do want to use it. But, you know, if they're intimidated by using their own face, like I always tell my students or who's ever in my workshop, you can rip it in half. You can put glasses on it. You're doing what you want to it. You're creating, you know, what speaks to you and what means something to you. So the whole process, it's not about like what, you know, even what it looks like. And then at the end, you start decorating it and add your words. And it's some of them could be really powerful and amazing. I'm loving this one. Now I'm like, now I know what I'm doing the rest of the night, because I'm really like, this one is really working for me.
Yeah.
And I'm, you know, when we're done speaking, I will put it down, and then I'll be able to work the way I normally do. And I'm looking forward to finishing it and then sharing it with you. So, you know, since all of you see some of the process and got some of my insight about how I work, and then you'll see the final process, you'll kind of have a little like a little secret from everybody else who sees the final piece. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that but like I said, I really, and you'll notice if you check out the final piece that oh, let me unplug. That I add a lot of design work. I probably won't cover anything up because I really kind of like what's happening. Sometimes I will paint inside the circle because I think that's interesting to have a contrast of, you know, the black and white photo. Like I added the red lips, which I love. And here's another little tip that I've been doing this forever. An art teacher years and years and years ago told me to, if you wanted to just have a little more like pizzazz or oomph, I don't know what word they use, but always put all the primary colors in your piece, even if it's like a speck. So like your red, blue, and yellow, that was an art lesson, are your primary colors. And if you even like, so I think I do it now, just naturally do it all the time. So I have my blue and my yellow, and then I put the red lips on. So I have all my primary colors in there. But this teacher said like something about it always makes your artwork pop. Like it always adds like just what you need. And sometimes when I'm like kind of lost, I'll be like, oh, there's no yellow. And I'll just find one little yellow gem or something and stick it in there. So I always try to have like all the primary colors, which really, I have no idea if it's true or not, but it's just like one of those things that I do, and it's kind of cool.
That is cool.
So the lips are red, so there's my red for that. So yeah, that's my process. And normally, like I said, writing on the background is super important to me, and I love that part. And you know, anything from your holiday list to your recipes or anything you want to put on there. I think that's a cool aspect to it. And then from here, you know, a lot of my work, I paint the face, or I draw the face, or a combination, or I paint over the face. So if someone wanted to take this one step further and really wanted to like, you know, incorporate a lot of painting and drawing, a good step would be to start painting right over the photocopied face or on the magazine face. Like even if you just start by, like I did, like painting the lips in, and then maybe painting some colors, and like I'm going to add some color in that circle, and maybe I'm going to add some definition to this eye so it stands out a little bit more. I'm not sure yet, but if you look, maybe tomorrow or the next day at the latest, I will post it, and we'll see where I went with it.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait to see the finished product, and really appreciate your time and insight. This was really, really cool, and so much fun to see your process and, you know, work on my own at the same time.
I know it's hard, right? I know it's hard to work and talk too. Sometimes I know a lot
Yeah.
of people now virtually, they say, I had to watch it all and then, you know, be inspired and work on my own. But either way, I hope that everyone got something out of it, because art is just like a huge outlet, and it's like my everything. If I didn't have this teeny little studio and didn't have this, I mean, this is what keeps me.
Yeah.
And the lock on the door and the sound machine, that helps too.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Nicole. And we'll definitely check out your Instagram so we can see the finished product.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I hope you all do something creative and wonderful with what you might have learned. So
yeah, perfect. Well, thank you. And thank you all for joining. We'll see you next month, the third Tuesday in January. So thanks again, Nicole. And thank you to all for joining. Have a wonderful holiday season. And we'll see you in the new year.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye.